Hey, everybody, you are watching and listening to a special early morning edition, depending where you are, of the We Are Rising podcast. This is Andrew Benjamin, joined by a special guest, returning guest from yesterday, because poor CJ is unfortunately has the ick. So we got Captain with us. Hey, Captain, how's it going, sir? Again?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm back on fairly short notice to do the rest of the card, which is good because I was looking to close out my opinions for the year, get
Great,
everything
great.
down.
Well, I guess one of the first things that we'll start off with is that intermissions during the intermission will happen. Supposedly, two fight announcements are going to be made. So I've heard. What do you think they'll announce?
I think they'll probably announce. I think they'll probably announce a fight for Naoki for Rizin 50, and I want to say they'll announce something for Ren, but that could just be wishful thinking.
The Motoya Akimoto fight's supposed to be Naoki's next. The winner of that's supposed to face Naoki next. That's what this little
Oh,
confession thing. So,
oh God. I hope not.
well,
I mean, I don't know. We'll get into this, but I'm a little hesitant on Akimoto, but I feel
well,
like
you know. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say if Motoya wins, I mean, sure, might as well do the rematch. They've fought before.
So you do know that actually I don't know if you noticed that they also in the Rise Confessions, um it was supposed to be Motoya and Naoki for this show.
Oh, that's a raw deal for Motoya then.
Then Naoki got injured, and so they had to they did this whole thing. So yeah.
Interesting.
Uh so yeah, I mean, I think they're going to formally announce the Grand Prix for flyweight. I think they're going to do that. I think, at this point, it's become kind of like almost a joke at this point. It's
Yeah.
kind and like I won't be surprised if they don't, but like I've been hearing a lot about flyweights lately, so I'm assuming that that's the one of the things they're going to do. So that, um, do you remember also? I think it was 2 years ago. They brought out Satoru Sayama's son, who was supposed to be doing MMA.
That
Maybe even
was
longer than 2 years ago.
was that at like was that at New Year's?
That was at New Year's. So
Was he wearing the mask?
yes, he was wearing the mask.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just parlay. I know everybody loves talking about betting. I'm gonna parlay a bet that Satoru Sayama-san will get a fight announcement. Um,
Interesting. From
so
out of left field.
yeah, that's what I'm guessing. I think Ren. I think they'll announce Ren because his injury. I think it's his hand, maybe again, which is should be better by April. So I think they'll definitely announce something for that for him. Um, I'm trying to think what else could they possibly. This is a show that's in not in Saga. Where is this supposed to be again? Do you happen to remember?
Um, I think
Fukuoka? No. By the way, I saw Chris's comment. Thank you so much again, Chris, and I love the little preview show you did with Mike the other day. It was really good. Oh, so they moved it from April. Oh wait, well this is supposed to be in April, right? But they moved it to March, I think, right?
March 30th in Kagawa, Shikoku.
Okay, Shikoku. I don't know anything about. That's like okay, yeah, that's like major rural area. I don't know any fighters from like this area at all.
Yeah, what do you
So
think they would be doing? What do you think they would be doing out there in the
oh,
first
okay,
place?
okay. So they got Ihime, Kagawa, like I said, Kochi, and Tokushima. There's a few fighters from Tokushima, and Ihime. Um, wow, it's very odd because this kind of like screams landfill, but like it does.
They're
Like
gonna,
like you don't usually do the number cards like in a area in Akka like this in the major rural like countryside area. Hmm. So okay, I take that back. I don't think they're gonna put Sayama's son in the sticks.
So they'll
Um,
save that for Super Rizin 4.
yeah, yeah. Do you think we'll get any attention on a skateboard or rapping or anything? You think we'll get any special intermission stuff?
Will they do a dance contest again?
Did we get the dance contest last time, or was that like in the Japanese feed?
I think that might have been the. Actually, no. It was on Rizin TV.
Okay.
But I think it just kind of came on. They hadn't announced it. I think it was just like
Okay.
intermission.
Oh, do you think they'll have Sean O'Malley speak? Do you think you'll have him come
I
in the ring? They like.
I don't think I don't think so. No, I'd be
Hmm.
surprised if they did.
I think he might. Make a bet that they're gonna invite him in the ring just to say something like, "Oh, this is really cool and all this stuff, all that, whatever." Just something like that. I think they're gonna. He's gonna be at the show, so I don't think they're not gonna like.
Not gonna let that moment go to waste.
Oh yeah, So
Because
yeah, I feel like
there's 5 announcements in total, right?
there was 5. I thought there was 5 announcements, but 2 fights. That's what I thought I read,
Okay.
unless I misread it.
So then the other 3 you think are just gonna be like
maybe
I don't know,
where
like
else they're having shows? Maybe like, oh, we're going to wherever.
because they announce up to summer, right? Or at least normally, I think that they did last year. They announced the first.
Yeah, they do like half the year.
Yeah, it was. Was it? Yeah, it was 2 landmark shows and then a numbered card. But then one of those numbered cards got turned into a landmark show.
Yeah, which could happen to this one. We're calling it 50. For all you know, they could just change into landfill. It happens.
Yeah, depending on who's available.
Who's available and how the tickets are going. So yeah. Oh, the other thing I also want to mention, because it happened yesterday, and it slipped my mind. I want to send our best wishes in recovery and health to Fat Ninja. Did you hear what happened with Fat Ninja?
Moya disease.
Yes, which I never.
Jeez, that's rough.
I never heard about that till he got it. I thought that was a mistranslation by the Google Translate. I was like, that can't be a real name of a real disease, Moya. But no, it is. So yeah. Yes, he's taking a step back from MMA, but say he's going to continue his jiu-jitsu and grappling career, which is if you ever seen him in jiu-jitsu or grappling, I mean, well, you've seen him in MMA, how he uses grappling. Like he's one of the fucking best. He's one of the fucking best out there. So wishing the best and speedy recovery and all good energy vibes to him. Also wanted to have a unofficial prayer circle for Sol Chu Kim, who got knocked out yesterday or today in Road FC by Ji Yang. So we might not be seeing him for a while, unfortunately. So no longer bantamweight champion of Road FC. Now Ji Yang is. So let's get into this card. I'm gonna run to get my charger, but I'm gonna let you take over, Captain, to talk about Yuki Motoya versus Kyoma Akimoto. The floor is yours, sir.
All right. So Yuki Motoya versus Kyoma Akimoto, as Andrew said, is going to be a bantamweight title eliminator for champion Naoki Inoue. And I mean, everybody watching knows who Yuki Motoya is. Rizin stalwart. I think he has the most fights in company history. And he's going to be fighting Kyoma Akimoto, who is 2023's or 2023-2024 breakout star at bantamweight. He came on the scene knocking out Alan Hiro Yamaniha in like under a round and a half. And he's kind of had a prodigious rise up the ranks. Me personally, I think, I don't want them to push him too fast and have him end up getting the Rory McDonald, or not Rory McDonald, the Jordan Mean treatment. But
Jordan. Sorry,
we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It should be a good fight either way. I know the odds are pretty even now. I think last I checked, they were dead even, so it was a pick 'em. I'm hoping that Akimoto can win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Motoya spoils it for a bit of a New Year's Eve upset.
I was talking to Damian Brown yesterday, and that interview will be uploaded tomorrow. And he made a good point that Motoya kind of has these like brain farts in his fights, where everything's going well, and then kind of just like the matrix glitches, and he kind of just loses focus.
Well, that's what happens. I was really upset last New Year's Eve watching him because he had a pretty good year outside of he had a pretty good 2023 outside of the loss to Kai. He had some really good fights. I think the fight with Kuramoto especially was fantastic. He had great dirty boxing in that fight, and he got to New Year's Eve against Vince Morales, and it was kind of like back and forth tit for tat early on. Morales was getting him with the leg kicks, and then Motoya was having a lot of like when he started to use his jab, he was winning, and then he just for whatever reason stopped jabbing, and I think it was like the third round, and he lost the decision, and I was pissed. I mean, not just because I had money on him, but also because he had a good year, and he was getting a bit of momentum. Just outside of his normal, win some, lose some kind of streak. So he has a lot of potential that I would like to see be realized.
Yeah, up until that fight, I was calling him the UFC killer because he was going through like all the former UFC fighters that were coming into Rizin. And I was like, oh, you know what? He's going to get another win over a UFC guy. And no, that didn't happen. This is also like his boxing. I'm going to stand up and strike phase, which that worked for one fight, and he was like, I'm going to do this in every fight from now on, the Rio Okada fight during the Bantamweight tournament. And you saw it in the, like you said, the Kuramoto fight. He tried in the Morales fight. But, that's when I was seeing him, like, failing, was, like, when he was trying to, like, strike against high-level strikers, like, much better than him, like Takezawa and Morales. Don't forget, Morales was hired by Kai to be his striking coach for against Archuleta. So, yeah. So, I think that Motoya is no longer. He's given that up. He's given that phase up. He's back to I'm grappling you, guy.
Because he fought Koro this year, right? And I think he wrestled him
this year or last year. He fought a Sho Hiromatsu, which was a late notice fight. He was supposed to fight Fukuda, but then Ota. He had the rematch of Ota and
that's right.
Reaper Jones in the chat. Thank you again I think you joined for all three of these. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're right. The Koro fight was before the Morales fight last year, and he won by knockout or KO TKO. So yeah, you're right. It was Hiramatsu.
Yeah, that's probably why he's like, I'm gonna strike with Vince Morales because I knocked out Izawa's husband. So yeah. Listen, that's the thing is that the other thing is that his Achilles heel has been always people that are like 10 times better grappler than him or like higher level striker than him. Do you think that Akimoto's striking is on that level where he can I guess have his way with Motoya?
I think so. I know we talk a lot about his grappling, but I think in the Suzuki fight he really showed that he can grapple, he can control someone effectively, and he can stick to the game plan and not get kind of reckless, like you said with Motoya, like fall in love with his hands and think, oh, I'm going to strike with the striker. So he's pretty effective there. And I do think that Motoya is going to be his biggest test so far. It's just a matter of can Motoya, like you said, get through the brain fart and plug in and mix the martial arts effectively.
Yeah. Oh God. I want to pick Motoya. And I get why people are picking him, but just the history of people that Motoya has fought that are kind of similar to Akimoto, I don't have faith that he can win this. And I just if he, I'm thinking about, I do think about that that Akimoto got taken down by Kentaro of all people. I think about that. I'm like, if you get taken down by Kentaro, it's like, I don't know. That's a big hole in your game you have to fix, man. Man, I'm gonna have to. My heart says Motoya, but my brain says Akimoto. I'm gonna have to pick Akimoto. I think he's gonna knock out Motoya by second round. I think I hope I want Motoya. I kind of want Motoya to play spoiler. I really do. I really, really do. But man, I just can't. I don't see. I think he's going to. I think Akimoto is just too good on the feet, and I think he's going to be prepared to not be taken down. I think he's going to have the grappling defense prepared for this fight. I really do think so. And then we'll get Akimoto versus Naoki anyway, maybe next year. If he's not off the UFC.
For Rizin 50 in the middle of nowhere, like you said.
Yes, Rizin 50. Okay. Now we're gonna skip to the real main event. Seika Izawa versus the Argentinian. I don't have really much to say about this, other than my bet is Izawa sub within 1 minute first round.
I think we were talking about it yesterday. That's really the only result that Izawa can afford to have. Because it's a lose-lose either way. If she doesn't crush her immediately, it's a bad look. And if Apdelgarim wins, which the odds have her as a plus 1,800 underdog, it would probably be the biggest upset in Rizin history, and would also probably kill the already depleted super atomweight division.
Oh God! Now you want me to cheer on the Argentinian if it's going to kill atomweight?
I don't know. It's just they like you said, we've had injuries have kind of held 49 back from being at its best possible shape.
Yeah, but this is like shooting your nose off to spite your face, or where the fucking saying is, because I cannot believe. I'm just trying to think. Okay, I'm trying to think Shingo, Sasahara, everybody in the booking room. I'm just trying to think how okay, Reina's injured. Who do we go next? Oh, this lady. I'm just trying to think you would think that they would they would find some I can't believe they just looked at Ganryujima Virtual and was like, yes, this is the lady. She must have some. They either couldn't get anybody, and so this lady had some easy way to get in Japan, either because she was in Thailand or Japanese husband. I don't know. Maybe the entertainment visa, that's good for an entire year, and they didn't need to get another visa. There must be some reason why that we can't think of that this lady was chosen above anybody else, including the atom weights in Japan that they could have gotten. Right? There's injuries, and then there's this is Kamaru. Okay, I'm trying to think. Robert Whittaker is injured. He can't fight Kamaru Usman. Get CM Punk to fight Kamaru, not Kamaru Usman. Chimaev. So
yeah, it's grim because this was supposed to finally be Izawa versus Reina, just to close out the division at that point. Yeah. That was the only fight worth a damn left.
This might be a cursed fight. This might be Naoki Kai.
This could be, yeah. It's just never going to come together for better or worse.
And did you see? I don't know if you saw the interview with Reina at the press conference yesterday. She was asked about, hey, you want to maybe fight Reina next year? She said, oh, maybe, but I don't know. I'm kind of more interested in fighting overseas fighters now. So it's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That translates to basically offer me enough money and I'll fight Reina, actually.
Yeah.
So that's what that actually means. But listen, that then now it's now she's not, So that's Oshima and that's Reina that are two potential fights, two big money fights that are dead in the water potentially. And then she said she's gonna retire at like 28 or 29 or something. She said
Yeah,
she wants to
they all say that,
but
for better or
like,
worse.
you know, what I would have done? I would have just said, "Hey, Kana, here's a check. How much do you want? Let's just do you and Seika again." Because
Dog out.
yeah, just like the first fight was like so good, I would have said, "You know what? You earned a title shot. Just make this your real last retirement fight."
Yeah. Was her retirement was Kana's retirement fight, was that for the belt?
No, it wasn't. It was non-title. She hasn't defended. She hasn't defended the Rizin title once.
Really?
Yeah, every fight she won she won the belt
At
against
35.
yes against Ayaka. Then they had the tournament, which she was a part of. Then yeah, she just had. Remember she had the Miyu fight.
Was the
Sorry,
Claire Lopez fight for the belt
was that for the belt? Oh, that may have been for the belt. I was just
with
thinking
Super
about that.
Rizin?
That may have been the one time she actually defended the belt.
I don't know. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, they gotta pony up for either the Reina or the Oshima fight at this point. Like, especially considering that UFC is banding around atom weight.
I think they're not going to make one. I think I'm convinced that Drake could have said any name, and Dana White would have said, "Yeah, I think that person would be great for atom weights."
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not really sure how much. Yeah, I think you're right. It would have been. He could have said like, "Oh, what do you think of Miyu Yamamoto?"
What do you think about Kate Lotus being the face of atom weights?
Yeah, and he would have been like, "Yeah, she's a great kid or something." I don't know, whatever,
Mio
whatever,
Yamamoto
whatever shit Dana says.
That's funny. I just think she called Mio Yamamoto a great 50-year-old Mio Yamamoto a great kid. sorry. Miu, yeah, she's a great kid. She's young. She's hungry. She's an up and comer. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's
Sorry.
do the Dana White special.
The Dana White special, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're both picking Seika by submission first round, first minute. Do you have like a certain like time limit when she's gonna finish?
I would say within the first minute and a half.
Okay. I'm saying first minute.
Anything longer than that, the longer it goes, the worse it looks.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Seiki Izawa fan, so it's just like shambolic mismatch. Just needs to be done with as soon as possible, and we can get on to the fights that matter.
was a fan, and now I'm starting to kind of lose my like interest in her because it's quite obvious that she's being protected by, I guess, special interests.
Yeah. Well, especially considering the Park fight a couple years ago for the tournament final was very close. It was. Was that a split? I can't remember, but it could have been argued that Park won, and I don't think anybody watching would have had an issue with that.
Yeah, it was split. Yeah, but apparently Park was injured. She's apparently injured now. She apparently like did something to her knee or ACL. So I would have just said even go for that if she wasn't injured. Just something, just like just something other than this. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever the count. Whatever fight this is. Anyway, enough of the trash. Let's get into the gold. We're starting with one of three title fights. Satoshi taking on Vugar, who's going up in weight. First time in his rising career. Satoshi has defended that title numerous times. I think 3 or 4 times at this point. He might have the most. Either him or Jiri have the most defenses as a champion in the promotion, I think. So, good on Satoshi for defending that title and also finishing fights and all that. What do you think? Do we see another Satoshi knockout in this fight?
Yeah, I think we do. correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they were looking for the Satoshi versus Tafik rematch, but Tafik hooliganed a little too hard, so they had to kind of switch gears.
Yes. Also, supposedly, and this is only rumors, so don't quote me on this, but apparently, Vugar and Tofik had a falling out.
Ooh.
Apparently, they're not following each other on Instagram or social media. So I don't know how people find this stuff out, but people find this stuff out. I don't have the patience to let me see if Vugar and Tofik are still following each other. People find this out. I forgot who was it. Was it Fight Memory? Somebody on one of those Japanese Twitter things found out about that. So I don't know. Maybe we could get Vugar versus Tofik down the line. Who knows?
Maybe an all Azerbaijani battle.
Yeah. So apparently, also the reason why Karamov was he took apparently obviously no featherweight title fight for him because that's being defended. Chihiro's defending it against Kleber, but apparently he was also told that he wouldn't be able to fight until April. But they had this option for him, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So
might as well, yeah.
Yeah. Do we? So you think Satoshi takes this?
I think Satoshi's probably gonna knock him out. That could just be recency bias, but he's had some hands over the last year. Like coming off of the Pitbull loss, I don't know what it was. Maybe he's more confident in his. Well, he's always been confident in his hands, but now he's got some real pop on his shots now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we did watch Vugar get knocked out from the bottom about a year ago. So that's probably just more like my recency bias pick. I imagine you're probably going to say that Satoshi wins by submission, as he usually does.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. So normally, Vugar goes for this single leg in every one of his fights, and he usually will take you down or start punching you while he holds your single leg. And I'm just like, you're probably not going to do that against Satoshi, right? Yeah. I don't. That's the last person you want a single leg. So then Vugar's only chance is to do it on the feet. And here's the thing: that Satoshi, if Satoshi is like, okay, this guy's so much better than me on the feet, I'm just going to take him down and I'm just going to work him there. So I don't see what Vugar can do to really honestly win this. And he's going up a weight class.
Yeah,
well.
That too. Although I don't think he'll be that much smaller than Satoshi.
No, not at all. But also just like, man, like, and I said this when Yusuke Yatsu could have 1,000 years to prepare against Satoshi, and Satoshi will still beat him 10 out of 10 times. And I think the same as with Vugar. Vugar, yeah, he might have the striking, but not that submission grappling defense. He could have 1,000 years to learn it. I think he still gets submitted by him. So I'm picking it's. I'm trying to think. Satoshi either. I'm gonna say first round. I'm gonna say that Satoshi is gonna be like, I don't want to strike with this guy. I'm gonna take him down or take his back, and then I'm gonna submit him that way. I think that's what's gonna happen. And yeah, this is a state of lightweight. Nobody else now. Featherweights are having to go up for this in this division. So
yeah, I know. For a minute there, we were talking about Satoshi not defending his belt after winning it, but
I know. I don't know why my brain was thinking that. Yeah,
I think there was a bit of a misconception on which fights were non-title.
Yes.
Stuff like that. But I mean, at this point, he's cleared out the division. The only thing that I could see happening, which really isn't feasible anymore, would be the Patricky Pitbull rematch.
Now you see, I'm not opposed to that, J Wolf, which I know you'll be listening to this later, because if there's nobody else, then fine, go for that. Even Denso, does Rizin dare do this? I want to hear your thoughts. Let's say Taisei Sakuraba wins. Do you think they do that for Satoshi's next match, title or non-title? I think that's what they're trying to do.
I don't think
they're aiming for that. I think they're aiming for that type of match.
I don't think they would be that That's some reckless ass booking. They might do it. I don't know, but I don't think. Like
You
honestly,
have to
they
think
might.
about it. You have to
They
think
might.
about it.
Yeah, it's like you could realistically see them doing that. Like they're having a 2-3, um, like part-time MMA fighter, part-time kickboxer fight one of their champions in the women's division. So you never know. They might just roll them up there, but God, I hope not. But that's
I
it speaks to the state of lightweight right now. That this is what we have to talk about: is either that or they got to import uh, challengers.
I was gonna say because if they can't get a Gracie, why not make a Sakuraba versus Banzai Jiu-Jitsu feud? Oh, no.
Somehow, if Saku Jr. wins, I think we'll have to pay close attention to how they're going to book him.
Yeah. On to the co-main event. We got Kyoji Horiguchi defending against Nkazimulo Zulu, Shaka Zulu, King Zulu, however you want to pronounce his name. I've always said that there's two people that I will never bet against, and that's John Jones and Kyoji Horiguchi. And I'm gonna have to still say the same thing with this one, but I don't know. Do you see it differently, Captain?
No, I agree with you that I am pretty comfortable saying that Kyoji will win. That being said, it's definitely probably his most dangerous fight since Shinryu, and definitely one that has a lot more risk than, say, I don't know, Sergio Pettis again. For as much as people, or as much as Zulu has like gaps in his game, whatever, he's still a really dangerous striker, and we saw that in his last fight with Joe Arai. And if you go back and watch his EFC stuff, like he can crack, and Kyoji will have to be he'll have to stay on his toes for this one.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. If you remember, he did that not a wheel kick. Remember he did that kick, that roundhouse type kick to Arai, just oh my god, I couldn't believe I never that's something you rarely ever see in MMA. When people try it, they usually fail. I'm reminded of who is it? Chris Weidman tried that against Luke Rockhold, and then that basically
we all saw how that.
Yeah.
We all saw how that worked out for him.
I guess the other question I have for you is: do you think Zulu's deserving of a title shot after just the Arai fight?
I mean, I think it was when Kyoji was interviewing MMA Fighting, or with MMA Fighting, he said that he would fight, or he was open to fighting. Was it
bantamweight?
Yeah, at bantamweight, but then also for New Year's Eve title challengers, they were going to book him against, was it Gazmatov?
Oh yes, he was going to fight him against Gazmatov, which is he's 4-0 or 5-0. I'm like, why would you do that? No.
So it was clear. I mean, and you called it a while back, but I think it was clear that for his first defense, or actually no, because
this is first defense, because he beat Shinryu for the title, and then
his first defense for the flyweight belt was gonna be an import. There wasn't really anybody else domestically that he could fight. He sure as hell wasn't gonna fight Okikubo again after him beating Shinryu at Super Rizin 3. So I'm okay with it. I think out of all the potential contenders, Zulu probably had the best. I mean, say what you want about Joe Arai, he was still a Shudo champion, Shudo double champion, and he had put on some exciting fights. And he destroyed him in the first round. So I mean, if anybody was going to fight, Zulu had the recency bias. He had the big flashy knockout, former regional champ, or up until then regional champion of a respected organization. So it makes sense. I mean, fingers crossed we get a Grand Prix next year, so we can build the division up a little more. But as for first title defenses go, I don't think this is bad.
I think you said it best. Yeah, he's an EFC champion. He beat a double champion, Arai. And yeah, just because of what the roster is, it's like you kind of just have to go by wins like that. This isn't like UFC where we have rankings and all that stuff. So it made the most sense within context, and also because I wrote that this fight should happen. So I wanted to be at least right with at least one fight in that fucking article that I wrote. This is my big bold prediction for 2025, and I think regardless of what happens, they're gonna try to book Kyoji versus Hiroya.
Oh God, I hope not. But yeah, I could see them doing that. First round of a Grand Prix. I can see them doing that.
The Hiroya is going to be in that Grand Prix next year. It doesn't matter. They're putting him in that Grand Prix somehow, but because it's the closest Kai connection. You have that like 6 degrees of separation with Kai, and all that stuff. So I think that's why they want to try to get Hiroya and Kyoji. Also, random fact about Zulu. Guess who beat him on Ultimate Fighter 100 years ago?
Hiromasa Ogekubo.
Man, yes, that guy will not go away. He is always giving the shadow of Kyoji. He's gonna always have some sort of connection with Kyoji, with their fights. But yes, he was defeated by Ogekubo on Ultimate Fighter 100 million years ago. So yeah, do you think this will go all the distance like Reaper Jones says, or you think we're gonna get a finish by Kyoji?
I don't know. I would say, if anything, probably because I don't think Zulu's been finished in a while, if at all. I would say either like a later submission by Kyoji or go to the distance, honestly.
I have to say, I think it's going to go this. I think it's going to go distance. I think Kyoji is going to mix it up, and if what the striking is even with people that like are grapplers, he'll still out grapple grapplers like he did with Makoto. And I don't know if I'll put Pettis as a grappler, half grappler maybe. So yeah, Kyoji just has the ability to mix it up. He hasn't lost a step at flyweight at all. He looks as good as ever. I think he's going to sweep all 3 rounds by just his whole in and out striking and grappling when he needs to keep Zulu honest.
I think he'll get clipped at some point, though.
Oh yeah, that always happens to him at least one or two times, and that's when he'll start to grapple.
Yeah, that's when he wakes up.
Yes, that's when he's like, okay, I can't be too reckless. And speaking of reckless, let's hope that Suzuki's not reckless in this fight as he defends second time against Kleber Koike. How do you think this fight will go, man? This is like
the rematch, that everyone wants to see.
The real rematch between Chihiro and a Brazilian.
I don't know. This really is a toss-up for me. Generally, I think rematches usually, in my opinion, you need to kind of favor who won the first time, especially in MMA.
But it's a no contest for the first one. Nobody won. That's what Wikipedia says.
Really, it's I don't know. As much as I would like to back Kleber here, and that being said, have the weigh-ins happened yet? Or is that today?
Nope, they're happening later tonight.
So we still don't know if this is going to happen.
Kleber will make weight.
Yeah. As much as I would like to back Kleber, Suzuki is on a meteoric fucking run right now. Like, just every single time we thought he was going to lose, he just knocks the guy out in increasingly hilarious ways. And yeah, I don't know. I think the momentum's with Chihiro. That being said, I got no clue how this fight's gonna end. Like, either Kleber is going to sleep, or he's gonna take an arm or choke out Suzuki. Like, who knows? For the division's sake, Suzuki should win. As much as I like Kleber, that really just screwed everything with him missing weight back at 43.
Well, do you know that Kleber has never been finished by
By
punches
strikes,
or TKO or KO? Surprisingly, he's been
he's
submitted
got
once.
a chin for sure. I
Hmm.
do in KSW. I don't want to say he got beat up by Gamrot over 5 rounds. Like he didn't get knocked out, but Gamrot beat him like as bad as you could beat up someone on the feet without knocking them out.
Hmm.
But if
There
anybody's going to knock him out, it's going to be Chihiro. Like the dude has nukes for hands.
There is a blueprint to beat him. And you, like you said, the Gamrot fight, the Pitbull fight as well. Yeah,
Yeah, beat him by being the person who does marginally more in a do nothing fight.
And then with Kanehara as well. Kanehara out-grappled him for 3 rounds. So I don't think Suzuki ain't gonna do that. I take that back.
No,
Suzuki
absolutely
ain't gonna no. But if he can make Kleber timid and afraid to do anything, and like if Kleber pulls guard, you just stand up, don't try to engage.
Yeah,
Suzuki can win this, I think. But then again, man, what you give, like I think you said yesterday, you give Kleber an inch and he'll take a mile from you.
yeah.
It can just
It
happen.
doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much, and so like the one little thing, and like I've watched that Juan Archuleta submission, and I still don't know how that fucking happened. Like that is high level grappling to like a degree that I can't even decipher. And yeah, like I know I would have to believe that Chihiro is fully prepared though to defend against any grappling that Kleber is going to try to enact on him. I don't, Kleber has shown some good striking. He's been training at was it Tiger? Was it Tiger Muay Thai or somewhere? AK somewhere in Thailand, but it's not up to par for what Chihiro can bring.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with you that Chihiro's momentum is on. It is. I'm trying to think. Did he break his hand? Did he get injured before the Kanehara fight? Or was that because remember he
got injured after because he was supposed to he was supposed to fight Pacquiao at Super Rizin 3.
Yeah. That's the other thing why I don't believe that there was ever going to be a Pitbull fight, because my brain is saying that they would have brought Ryan Garcia in to fight Chihiro. That's what my brain says. So there's no way that a Pitbull fight would have happened anyway, J Wolf. Believe Don Davis. Anyway, do you think that Chihiro finishes him in the first, second, third?
Yeah. I don't know. I won't put money on this fight. It's going to end inside the distance. If Chihiro is going to win, he's going to knock him out, I think.
Could it be also that both are so tentative of the other that we almost get a staring contest? We get like Derek Lewis versus Nagano.
I really hope not. But that being said, I don't think, like you said, we opened this segment talking about recklessness, and I do think that Suzuki isn't one for just sitting there. I mean, even when he fought, say, Imanari, he went out there and he pushed forward and was very cautious, but nonetheless, he moved forward and didn't sit back and wait for the fight to go to him.
Well, was it also the was it Nakahara that he fought where he got like knocked down or not? He got clipped pretty bad, but then still powered through. That was Nakahara, I think. And then he knocked him out within like a minute later or something like that. I think it was Nakahara. But
Rizin 40.
That was it. Yes. And I'm picking Chihiro first round KO. I think we're gonna see Chihiro retain the championship.
I sure hope so, because this is his last roadblock for the time being. moving on to bigger and better things. I really want to see that Ren fight for the last man standing belt, and this is all that gets in the way of it. So I'm hoping there's no spoilers.
Well, you can do the last man standing anytime. Doesn't have to be. I consider that kind of like an open weight title. Doesn't matter. You could do whatever the fuck you. It's like the what's that belt that the KOPW from New Japan? And just make the whatever fucking rules, whatever fucking weight class. Just do whatever. Which of these 5 fights that we covered are you looking forward to the most, Captain?
Well, it's the main event. Like, it's why what a lot of us are here for. So I'm excited for Suzuki versus Kleber. I'm excited for Satoshi versus Vugar. And as much as I love Kyoji, I think the third fight I would have to say is going to be Akimoto versus Motoya. Akimoto's gone in, I think, from a little over a year from fighting on like a one-off Abema specific MMA show against like a well-traveled veteran to fighting in a title eliminator. And we're gonna see, like, he's already shown he's got like a really mature skill set for his age, but we're gonna have to see if he can pass the Motoya test.
So I'm going to say, Chihiro Kleber. This is the real rematch, the real one. And I was even more excited when the two of them like had that little spat in the ring. I think that was when Kleber beat Juan, and I think that's when Chihiro jumped up on the ring. That I was like, okay, you know what? Just give me that shit. Just inject it.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, and out of the non-title fights, very hard to choose. No, obviously, Motoya, Akimoto. This is Akimoto's toughest test to date. Motoya, he's a great spoiler. He's not as much of a spoiler as Okikubo, but he can be a spoiler. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because this will show if Akimoto is able to adjust to Motoya's grappling, then yes, okay. This guy has it. He's able to make adjustments. If he doesn't, then it's back to a drawing board. You're 18. It's not the end of the world for you. Then watch it like he loses, and he like just loses every fight after that. Just like,
that's what I'm worried about.
But who's the guy who do you remember when Benson Henderson took on that guy at 170 in UFC?
Brandon Thatch.
Yes. And Brandon Thatch, remember UFC was like, oh, this guy's gonna be the next big thing, and then Benson beat him, and then that guy lost like every match.
Just precipitous decline. I know I've been using that a lot, but that pushing prospects too fast is something that really, really bothers me. It's one of my MMA pet peeves.
But every promotion is guilty of that. UFC rise a little bit more than UFC, I think, in my opinion.
I mean, when I see what happens when I like look over like Ota's career, for example, I know he started a bit later, so it's kind of like skewed a bit. I get a little pissed. Then
you have the opposite of Bellator, where Bellator would just have their prospects go up against like 5 fighters, which is like good up until a point.
Bellator, I think if anybody is gonna if anybody there is gonna be like, I'll give credit to, I think it would be Bellator. I mean, if you look at AJ McKee's build to the belt, that was perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
In means of progression, really, I think everybody had their attention on Aaron Pico is kind of like a stunted prospect development, but AJ McKee was just chugging along in the background, and that I think was like picture perfect prospect development.
Oh, absolutely,
Or at least he's the one that I use to be like, when somebody like, oh well, like if you think they all do it horribly, like has anybody done it right? And definitely Coker, for all of his faults, knows how to let a few guys cook.
You had like I'll point to like James Gallagher, where they gave like James Gallagher some of the easiest fucking fights.
Up until Ricky Bandejas.
Yeah, super kicked him. Gave him the switch in music. And then Patchy Mix choked him out, and then then look where he is now. Bellator is now Road to Dubai, so maybe it is. I
Rest
don't
in
know.
peace.
R.I.P. Before we go, giveaway still going on. If you want this Rizin t-shirt and a deep program, just follow the We Are Rizin podcast Twitter right here. Follow me. If I'm not following you, I'll follow you back. And then just message me which fight you're looking forward to the most at Rizin 489 Decade. And this is going on. I decided to extend this till after the show ends. And might even do live. We'll see. Anyway, Captain, where can people reach you?
Same as yesterday. Nothing's changed since then. Cap'n99 on Twitter. Cap'n on the Rizin FF fans Discord server. Getting ready for New Year's Eve. Another promising Rizin show to look forward to, and I can't wait to see the fights.
So yes, there's a Discord right there, Rizin FF. By the way, Rusty, thank you so much. Appreciate you tuning in. I think you also tuned in for all the days. Appreciate the support and all that. Follow We Are Rizin Pod, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Follow my buddy J. Chris Gary, Twitter/X. Follow the always entertaining J Wolf on Twitter/X. There it is right there. And Focus Fights, they said that he's doing a preview tonight. Jay Christian, I believe, Jay Wolf. Find all the Focus Fight stuff down there and follow the YouTube channel, Focus Fights. And also, get the show on Rizin.tv. $19.99 if you want to subscribe for the premium pass, which is, $19.99 a month, or just buy it individually as a solo pay-per-view, whatever, $19.99. Same price, not like ESPN, we have to pay one price for the subscription and an extra price for whatever. So until, enjoy it, knock on wood that this will be forever, that they don't discover that they can do that. Yes, there'll be a year-end award Rizin once New Year's Eve is done. Probably I'll have to go back and look at some stuff, just like make sure, like, okay, was that fight actually shit, or was I just in a bad mood, or was that fight good, and look at the finishes and all that stuff. And so Rizin will die. We'll definitely do one, probably January. I'll tell you the truth right now, probably no other fight's gonna be worse than Ushiku versus Sato. So unless something happens on this New Year's Eve card, you can expect that to be at least my worst fight of the year. Will that be your worst fight of the year so far, Captain?
Yeah. No, it had all the right people involved for it to be a snooze fest.
Hold on. Let's take it back. There'll be Taiga versus Genji Omeno. So
Inoue versus Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
We have some variety. It might be a closer race than you think.
It might be, yeah. There is Genji Omeno versus Taiga tonight at the Rizin New Year's Eve show, so it could change for all we know. So I might not be Ushiku versus Sato, but everybody, appreciate you tuning in this early. If you're in the United States, thank you so much. We'll see you for New Year's Eve. That's tomorrow for us. Rizin 489 Decade. Take care, everybody.